Dr. Mark Jangizi here through Science Moment. Today, I'm going to talk about alcohol and cultural evolution. It came up, I was at a jazz club a week ago and I posted something about cultural evolution and sort of just showed some alcohol. And just mentioning that alcohol, just like many things, just like writing systems and language itself and music and almost everything that you take as being central to what it is to be human is a result of cultural evolution. Not even natural selection. And even in Science Moment, back to Science Moment number 34, I had argued, this was before COVID, I had suggested that, I've had a different kind of level of respect for religion because I now view religion, for the last 15 years, I viewed religion in a very different way than I did when I was young. When most people just say, well, religion, there's all these propositions and most of them are obviously false. Well, yeah, that's true. But look, it has culturally evolved, and many of them have culturally evolved over serious periods of time to tap into certain kinds of things. And if you want to understand really what they do, it requires serious theoretical and empirical analysis to try to understand what are they harnessing in the human brain? What are they doing at the psychosocietal level? Are they advantageous or are they not advantageous? But in all of these things are very difficult questions. So, for example, I have the balls to study why writing is shaped the way it is, and I've shown that writing sort of looks like nature. The kinds of shapes that you find across writing systems look like the contour conglomerations that you find in nature. I can handle that. That's 3 contours, and there's 36 different topologically distinct shapes, and you can look across human writing systems, hundreds of writing systems, and you can look across nature, and you can ask these kinds of questions and make them rigorous. How do you handle this? For religion is a very hard question. So one should have a degree of respect and humility about the ability for cultural selection to create deeply engineered things for the human mind. And that includes religion, that includes music and the arts and speech, language generally, and writing systems, and just hosts and hosts of things, the shapes of our spaces and our houses and the cars, all of the technology, the iPhone or the mobile device that you're using, and alcohol. I won't go into the history, which I don't know deeply, about the amount of the richness of different kinds of alcohols, the varieties of alcohols, that how deep they go into our history, how many different kinds of combinations of these alcohols are used for cocktails creatively on the fly in different kinds of cultures, as well as well-known and well sort of working names for these combinations. Each of these which have different kinds of tastes and different kinds of occasions when you use them. And in almost every culture, except for some weird ones that you may recognize, weird occasional small cases, watering holes, bars, pubs are the places where humans choose to go meet and work together and meet each other and socialize. They have become part of what it is to be a society. Alcohol is all part of that. And so there's a lot of folks, when I posted that on Twitter, somebody was like, no, I'm against alcohol. Like, alcohol's a poison, so you should just never have alcohol. This is after 2 years of people having a zero COVID attitude and having no sense of a cost-benefit analysis. And so I was surprised. These are people on my side, seeing they watched the irrationality where everything was COVID with no cost side. It was just how do we minimize COVID? And any intervention that even tries to do that, and there's no such thing as even looking at the cost of that. There's no such thing. You were accused to be a denier if you were like that. It was a zero COVID strategy, and there are still intellectuals and politicians and people pushing for this. So those people who understand that have a zero alcohol notion. And I think, there are people who react badly. Alcohol is bad for you. Most things, if you have too much of it, are bad for you. That's just part of life. And so it's pretty trite to say that everything is a cost-benefit analysis, but unfortunately, we all have to be reminded of that. Even alcohol is a cost-benefit analysis, and it's not merely, here's this nice thing it would be nice to have, and of course there's bad things to it as well. No. The very nature of alcohol and the world of alcohol, which is a tremendous world of diversity that's been engineered over time through no particular human insight, but through billions of minds over time, culturally selecting for what kind of works and the kinds of restaurants that work and the kind of bars and the situations of the bars, how they're situated, what it's like to be in those bars, to all do something for us, to do something social, presumably, and potentially much more for us, is something deeply designed. And you might think, this is not fair to compare things as important as writing systems and language and music and religion, for God's sakes. Well, it's actually for God's sakes. To alcohol. Oh, they're all deeply designed by cultural evolution to do stuff for us, to harness us, to leverage us. All of them. Right? Now we know some people don't take well to religion. Religion with the wrong people, with the wrong amount, the wrong dosage, they become pains in the ass. No one wants to be around those folks, right? Same thing with alcohol. Certain people have a proclivity to abuse alcohol. Some people have a proclivity to abuse religion. So everything has its downsides and has to be understood in a fashion that balances and understands the balance. But you all have to also not just understand the benefits, but understand that these things are not simply potentially having benefits. They've been designed through billions of minds, through a cultural selection process that builds deeply designed and genius devices for us. Alcohol and the world of alcohol being just one of those. So that was your science moment. Get yourself a copy next week. Dr. Tim Barber and my book, Expressly Human, Decoding the Language of Emotion, The Origins of Emotion. This is the best argument that you can give to somebody about why masks are bad. Masks cover the language that humans use to communicate, and that's our emotional expressions. And I forgot to mention, I'm on my way for a drink right now. And that was your science moment.